Running never did much good. Hiding doesn't last forever. You can't run faster when it's you you're running from. So you throw your hands up like doves to the setting sun. Somewhere down the stars are falling like dews upon a thin black veil. You'll find the mysteries enthralling. 5 seconds seems like 5 billion years. 10,000 galaxies away, yet still so near.
Welcome to Karen Holton's podcast. Karen permanently lost 178 pounds and found happiness and success by following her own advice. She has now developed that advice into the quantum health transformation. Heal, evolve, and thrive. Karen's website offers a free webinar workshop series, and you'll also find tools, methods, and practices to assist you to become the change you want to see in the world. She believes that we are all connected. Heal the planet by healing yourself. Connect with Karen at her website, KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com, and through Facebook at Facebook.com/Quantum Health Transformation. Now for the podcast.
Welcome to Quantum Health Transformation 2.0. Please note, this primer is meant to accompany the corresponding live recorded video. Both primer and live Quantum Health Transformation 2.0 videos will be presented in descending number order. Start your learning process with Step 9, then proceed to Step 8, and so forth. Learn Step 1 last. This will help you to bypass some of your linear programming. All information presented in any Quantum Health Transformation media is taken from the Living Library, also known as the Akashic Records, and from my personal life experience and training. I am not an expert, a mathematician, or a scientist. I'm a seeker of knowledge and wisdom. This system of quantum health transformation works well for me. However, you must synthesize this information and take only that which serves you. At the very least, it is my hope that you will be stimulated to seek your own inner wisdom. And by the way, any part of the Quantum Health Transformation Original or 2.0 series can be copied and shared under the Fair Use Clause, as long as credit is given to myself, Karen Holton, my company, Vancouver Island Alternative Lifestyle Services, also known as VIALS, and Quantum Health Transformation. Thank you. For legal reasons, I have included this disclaimer. Please read it before you continue. Introduction to Nubby Ball. This is Step 9, a tool for analysis and integration. It all started when I was having difficulty navigating certain challenging social situations, so I asked my guides for help. They suggested I imagine a sphere suspended in space. I was then asked to imagine that I saw another person's viewpoint from a specific social interaction. I then plotted this as a point on the sphere. I was then asked to imagine what the opposite position or vantage point might be on the opposite side of the sphere. I did some thinking, and I did so. And as I focused on the sphere, it became a nubby ball with infinite points or nubs covering it all over. I very quickly came to see that there were as many positions or points of view for this given social situation as there were nubs. An infinite and undetermined amount, really. Suddenly, it was obvious to me that it was ludicrous to try to find the whole truth from looking at only one nub or perspective. Only by considering the entirety of the issue was I approaching truth. It also became apparent that I could in no way determine the true complexity of the motives that another person would have from any single vantage point. Truth, by the way, is plural, and it was never meant to be considered as a single position. To flesh issues out further, I was asked to plot on the same sphere several other possible positions, as I might imagine them to be for my issue. It now became even clearer to me that I had no way of correctly identifying or completely understanding the motives and behaviors of another person. What I had been seeing was a projection of things as they made sense to me. This realization led me to several conclusions. First of all, there's no point to assigning intentions to others because we really don't know what they experience in life and what their true motives might be. We can guess, but only by seeing each issue as one of infinite nubs on a sphere can we come close to understanding that their stuff is complex and not for us to try to figure out. It is really none of our business. Our perceptions are ours alone to care for and adjust as we see fit. Further, only by considering an issue as infinite points or nubs on a ball could I get a glimpse of the truer whole. As I practiced with many issues and situations, I realized that I could use this tool to gain greater understanding of life and on many different levels. Only by crudely considering the entirety as displayed by this tool could I approach truth, and especially my truth. Continued use of the Nubby Ball led me to understand that everything is fractal in nature, and this tool allows us to see our own fractal flow. We are, and everything we perceive is, divinity diversified. I didn't realize it at the time, but the Nubby Ball tool represents a tesseract. A tesseract is infinity cycled through what we perceive as finite time and space. All levels of reality from the plank to the universal expanse follow the same dynamic flow. All beliefs, societies, and systems can be assessed with this model of analysis. As it is above, so it is below. Good, bad, light, dark, gender, any binary concept considers only 2 points among infinite positions within the realm of possibility. Truth and balance are at the center, and the more points we consider, the more we come to understand reality, social as well as other aspects of life. The best we can do, being imperfect beings, is to plot the opposites of an issue or situation at the poles, and then consider as many additional points as we can on our Nubby Ball. This gives us a sense of the whole and leads to fourth and fifth dimensional thinking. This gives us a sense of the whole. Consider this. A point represents just a point of awareness or being. It's 0 dimension. Then when we have 2 points, we have movement between the 2 points, and we see 1 dimension, which would be length. Next, if we have 4 points, we can understand movement between 4 points, and we come up with 2 dimensions, the ones of height and width. Then, when we include 8 points, we can understand movement between the 8 points. This gives rise to 3 dimensions, height, width, and depth. A Nubby Ball is made up of infinite number of 3-dimensional shapes, creating 4th and 5th dimensions and beyond. If you'd like more information, just Google sacred geometry and there will be oodles of information. Now take a moment to look at these illustrations. Don't worry if you don't understand them fully on a conscious level. They will be making an impression and add to this overall concept. At the center of the Nubby Ball is the source of all concepts, ideas, situations, etc. The source is truth and balance, a unified whole. I am a Nubby Ball. I'm an energetic torus field. And I am but a nub on a Nubby Ball, a larger energetic torus field. So for example, if you Google the Heart Math Institute, you will find out lots of information about how our hearts actually generate a powerful torus field. Now the Earth is a larger energetic torus field. It produces its own torus field. And so this is how the universe is constructed, fields within fields that make up other fields. So every nub is a Nubby Ball, yet all nubs connect to each other, forming ever more nubs on Nubby Balls. And an example of this would be consciousness. The entire energetic phenomenon is conscious. As it is above, so it is below. A Nubby Ball is also the flower of life. It is dynamic, ever-changing and evolving under influence. This is how the universe explores and learns about its reality, and we're a part of that. Now here are some possible uses for the Nubby Ball as a practical tool. It allows us to see more of an issue, situation, or way of being with a more balanced sense of the whole. Nubby Ball plumps out the three-dimensional, revealing the dynamic, interconnected nature of all things. Use of the Nubby Ball assists us with overcoming our binary programming and our black-white, positive-negative, up-down, good-evil worldview, so we can see things as truly complex and dynamic. The Nubby Ball tool helps us to weed out the BS and allows for a greater degree of self-analysis and character building. This tool assists us to understand and upload complex data into our thinking schema. Nubby Ball helps us to understand social issues, which may have caused discomfort or awkwardness in the past. It assists us to reconcile cognitive dissonance. The Nubby Ball allows us to more fully integrate that which we choose to believe. The Nubby Ball tool offers us a way to look at issues more analytically and a lot less emotionally. Nubby Ball expands our awareness, and knowledge is power, and self-knowledge is true personal power. The Nubby Ball tool strongly illustrates why the standardizing bureaucracy of the economic, political, social construct is ever so limiting. The Nubby Ball tool dissolves conflict, and it sharpens our critical thinking skills. Now, for this to work, you don't have to believe anything. You don't have to worry about understanding the quantum aspects of Nubby Ball. Just pretend it works and give it a try. The more you practice, the easier it becomes, and soon it could be an automatic system for learning. How to use your Nubby Ball. First of all, suspend your opinions for 5 minutes and pretend the Nubby Ball tool works as I have described. Promise yourself that you will return to your skepticism after trying to use it as described for just 5 minutes. Next, visualize. Oh, and by the way, the reason we do that is to clear our own resistance so that it will actually work better. Next, visualize a Nubby Ball clearly in your mind, or you could even draw a sphere on a piece of paper. Take any social issue and divide it into the two extreme and polar opposite viewpoints. Now plot these two positions as the poles of your Nubby Ball, north and south. Now plot where your honest position might be, and then plot the opposite of your position on the corresponding opposite side of the sphere. Once you can see these 4 points plotted clearly, throw in another random position and plot it and its opposite point. By this time you have plumped out the issue, and you can make guesses as to what the whole of the issue might look like. Congratulations! You now have a quantum view of the bigger picture as suggested by the original issue. Now you are in a position to make some educated guesses and draw some holistic conclusions. You can understand matters more fully and better execute your strategic planning. When you practice and lengthen the time you spend considering concepts, people, places, and things this way, you can draw quantum conclusions almost instantly. Soon it becomes an automatic system of analysis. I believe we're already doing this subconsciously, which gives us our intuition and our hunches. Hold on, this is only the beginning. Now you're ready to integrate your light body and your shadow body. Nubby Ball, a tool for analysis and light-shadow self-integration technique. If you shine a light on one side of a nubby ball, you find a light side and a shadow side. Likewise, no matter how much we deny this duality within ourselves and attempt to walk in the light, our shadow side remains. We share a collective consciousness of light and shadow as well as a personal dichotomy. Here is some reading material. The best book that I have found exposing our collective shadow consciousness is The Denial of Death by Ernest Becker. And the best book that I have found exposing our personal shadow consciousness is called Meeting the Shadow, The Hidden Power of the Dark Side of Human Nature. And it's edited by Connie Zweig and Jeremiah Abrams. In the beginning, most of us shy away from this kind of knowledge, usually out of fear. But if we do not do this type of personal work, we can look forward to denial. The shadow remains and is activated fairly regularly without our conscious knowledge or consent. We do not get the results we wish for in life. Projection. We blame others for their faults, and our relationships fail to develop fully and remain very superficial. We get caught up in victim role-playing, and our relationships tend to fail. And then there is the failure to evolve. We do not get to know ourselves, which impedes valuable self-reflection and personal growth. However, if we boldly go where few have gone before and choose to do an honest appraisal of our whole selves, we can look forward to less denial and less subconscious sabotage. Life becomes richer and more rewarding. Without the need for projection, we no longer bully, scapegoat, or stereotype others because we can accept folks as they really are. We will find little reason for dramatic entanglements, so relationships become deeper and more fulfilling. And finally, when we choose to do an honest appraisal of our whole selves, we take responsibility for our actions. We are now able to engage in meaningful self-reflection and confidently make our own necessary adjustments for personal growth and evolution. Now we can truly begin to thrive and find the happiness and the contentment that we deserve. Here are some recommendations. Number 1, use the Nubby Ball Tool to plot your positive attributes, and then consider the opposite attributes that you might be avoiding or hiding. Number 2, take time for meaningful self-reflection and become aware of all of your uncensored thoughts and feelings. Number 3, once you see your shadow emerging, notice how you feel. Number 4, without judgment or condemnation, thank your shadow self for the information it gives you through thoughts and feelings. And number 5, look for the wisdom and the warnings within the nonsense. We don't have to like this part of us. We are only looking for the essence of the message. With patience, these shadow messages become less disturbing. Remember, you're listening now. It doesn't need to ramp it up and become disturbing, because when you're listening, the small messages come out more easily. And we learn to walk with and learn from our internal shadow partner. Light and dark together, just like siblings. We can now learn from the important messages from both sides, which facilitates integration. In truth, not one of us is good nor evil. We are products of our spirit, genetics, environment, and social upbringing. Light-dark integration more than doubles what we know. So I'm going to say it again. Personal awareness is personal power. Please stop by my website. Here's the link, https://www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com/videos/step-9/. This concludes the Quantum Health Transformation Step 9 primer. Please feel free to contact me for more information and for assistance with your integration program. I am grateful for all of the forces that assist me with the production of this 9-step online course. I am grateful for Kat and Devon, starseeds sent to clarify my earthly experience and who bring much joy and purpose to my life. And I am eternally grateful to Kaluna Star Being for encouraging me to proceed with this project. Kaluna, you're truly a spiritual cheerleader. I love you so much. I am grateful for the continued support from my Universal Starseed Community. Please join me for the next step in this online course called Step 8 Red, Grounding and Birth of Core Belief Systems. If you'd like to contact me, again, my website is www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com. That's KARENHOLTON healthcoach.com. You can also email me at vials@shaw.ca. Okay, signing off. Love you so much.
Lion only makes you hurt. Denying only makes it worse. Love and surrender seem the fastest way to bring an end to bitter, painful days. Somewhere down the stars are falling like jewels upon a thin black veil, and you will thrill to hear your calling. 5 seconds seems like 5 billion years, 10,000 galaxies away, yet still so near.